that was raised there. So, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the situation.
You mentioned Tumaini coming into a budget, and Akila, what do you think? Is it that would you say this is lack of prioritization of the government programs?
We can say misplaced priority or something like that, because the initiative of Tumaini was not in the budget, of course, and financing the process. And then during our stay there for about 3 weeks in Nairobi, we were interacting with the mediators and the secretariat, and most of the information we are receiving from there, the Tumaini is being funded by the Kenyan government, but then the Kenyan government is being supported by the international community, and mostly Norway, if I'm not wrong. So this can be another window of, let's say, the issue of accountability and transparency. Yes, we have government delegation in Tumaini, but you cannot use a budget. You cannot use Tumaini as an excuse, for money spent maybe, let's say, in the previous budget or maybe supplementary budget. So I don't think it's a right procedure, right decision.
Right. And what have you been hearing from the public? What has been their reaction so far?
Okay, thank you so much, Memo, for engaging us, especially in the areas of budget. This Wednesday's public hearing on budget is one of the best, and it's also one of the good efforts towards moving for true accountability and transparency in the country. I think this is the second time now South Sudan is having this kind of engagement with the members of the public, and it's commendable. Now, talking about what people are saying, so people are talking about transparency and accountability. This has been one of the major concern of the people. Like, there's something that my colleagues talked to area about. So South Sudan is having resources, but how is these resources being used? So it's not clear to the public. Either revenues are being corrected, how is it being used? All these are not clear to the public, and this was one of the issues raised during the public hearing. People wanted to know, where is the oil money going to? Where is the non-oil revenues being corrected going to? How is the government using these resources if they are meant for the public? So now they are demanding that this year's budget 2024-2025 should have this kind of engagement with the public, where all these are being reflected, all these are being said to the public. For example, if the ministry of A or B or X were given 1,000 next year, we want to hear from them that this budget we were given 1,000 and we used it for ABCD. So this is what people are talking about. Now, the other thing that people are talking about is enforcement of the Public Financial Management and Accountability Act. This is one of the concerns, and up to now, it's not being enforced, and this is part of the reforms that people are looking for. So another thing that's also critical in these areas is issues to do with the auditing. The other time, about 2 months ago, I attended a meeting of the auditor, National Audit Chamber, and then the auditor there said most of these public institutions are fearing being audited. So whenever they hear about the auditors wanted to come and audit their institutions, so they fear, they're thinking that they are going to expose them, they are going to say that, oh, this is a corrupt institution. So they end up denying the public, the national audit to come and audit. So, but he clearly mentioned that no, that's not the case. It's just a matter of coming up with the reforms that's required by the international or regional standard, because we are members of the East African community. Now, before I conclude, one of the things that the public are demanding is that there are some key institutions in the country that they want this year's budget to focus on or to be increased. For example, issues to do with agriculture. People want the budget of the Ministry of Agriculture to be increased, because the more we empower the agriculture in the country, South Sudan is having a vast land, fertile. I just returned the other early this week from Yambio, where you have enough produces, but how do we empower these farmers? So majority of the citizens are demanding that the budget goes towards empowerment of the farming industry in the country, even issues to do with education and issues to do with emergency, flooding, whatsoever. If we have budget for emergencies, it can, address what we were talking about, the Tumaini or the government claiming that they spend a lot of money on this, which were not there in the budget. I think this year's budget need to have this kind of emergency. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Right.
I would like to come into on agriculture, and this is one of the recommendations that the committee gave, that agriculture should be revived. Agriculture's scheme should be revised. We have those scheme like rice scheme, the farming in Rang, and all those, and when you look at the 2023, according to the presentation, in 2023-2024 budget, they allocated some money to the Ministry of Agriculture for food production. Then in the report, they did not spend any money, and the excuse they give, I call it excuse. They said because of the flooding, there were no agriculture activity. This is the report during the presentation.
The flooding.
The flooding is stopped
in June.
Yeah. So you see, this is so. As he put it, agriculture is one of the recommendations that agriculture should be revived, and then they say also economy should be diversified, and then also streamlining the budget. Like, you spend what you are given, what you budgeted for. This should be the way to go, but this is not, and that's why we have to go back to say it, respect or implementation of, as he put it, Public Finance Management Act. That is it. The other one also, they talk about empowering South Sudan Revenue Authority. Should be the only institution that should be collecting revenue, non-oil revenue, because there's other institutions that are collecting on behalf of the government. So they say South Sudan Revenue Authority should be empowered to be the only one, because there are so many institutions. Traffic police is collecting money. Immigration is collecting money. If you count how many checkpoints from Numili up to Juba, up to Cherkat, they collect money. As you walked out, from foreigners, as you walked out of the bus, right. Like when you are leaving Numili, you pay a certain amount. When as a foreigner, and this goes to migration. Yeah. So should be only one institution should be the one, and that's South Sudan should be the one collecting revenue, and that's a recommendation that should be the only one. Traffic, migration, what? Even there are fire brigade there. You find them on the road collecting money from. So.
And that's why also, Memo, to add on that, that's why you see in every, whenever they present budget, we have deficit. Every now and then we have deficit. This also contribute to the issue of not spending actually their money.
All right, thank you. Indeed, let's have a break and we'll be right back shortly. Welcome to Around South Sudan. You go to podcast for the stories that shape our nation. Each week we explore the most impactful headlines that are shaping the narrative in South Sudan. We delve into issues related to national development, peace building, politics, culture and economics. To stay informed and engaged, tune into Around South Sudan and be part of the conversation that matters. Subscribe now and join us for the stories that connect us all. Together, let's explore the heart of South Sudan. Welcome to Around South Sudan. You go to podcast for the stories that shape our nation. Each week we explore the most impactful headlines that are shaping the narrative in South Sudan. We delve into issues related to national development, peace building, politics, culture and economics. To stay informed and engaged, Tune into Around South Sudan and be part of the conversation that matters. Subscribe now and join us for the stories that connect us all. Together, let's explore the heart of South Sudan. Welcome to Around South Sudan, your go-to podcast for the stories that shape our nation. Each week, we explore the most impactful headlines that are shaping the narrative in South Sudan. We delve into issues related to national development, peace building, politics, culture, and economics. To stay informed and engaged, tune into Around South Sudan and be part of the conversation that matters. Subscribe now and join us for the stories that connect us all. Together, let's explore the heart of South Sudan. Dear viewer, welcome back, and we are back to our discussion here, but this time let's move to another item here, and basically let's look at the implementation of the 2018 peace agreement. But so far it's so quiet, particularly after the government extended its legitimacy, and it's been 6 weeks, and in this period there have been a lot of concerns from the international community that they would want to see action,